Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers and sisters. Welcome to our Quranic Treasures series. Inshallah, today we will be exploring a treasure from Juz 12. And this treasure can be found in Surah Yusuf, verse number 4 and 5, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذ قال يوسف لأبيه يا أبت إني رأيت 11 كوكبا إني رأيت 11 كوكبا والشمس والقمر رأيتهم لي ساجدين قال يا بني لا تقصص رؤياك على إخوتك فيكيدوا لك كيدا إن الشيطان للإنسان عدو مبين صدق الله العظيم. Alhamdulillah, my dear brothers and sisters, this verse was taken from Surah Yusuf. And Surah Yusuf, and more particularly the story of Yusuf, is referred to in the Quran by Allah as Ahsan al-Qasas. Subhanallah, the best of stories. We all have our favorite something, right? Some of us will have a favorite surah, will have favorite food, will have favorite clothing, favorite color. Allah Himself has told us what the best surah is. And not surah, sorry, what the best story is. And the best story Allah Azza wa Jal has mentioned, the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, which is in the story, which is in the surah, Surah Yusuf. The surah is named after the Prophet and the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, inshallah. So this is the best of stories. And from the best of stories, we're exploring a treasure, alhamdulillah. And this treasure that we just recited, and you just read the translation of, is an important verse, and it teaches us two key lessons. Yusuf alayhi salam, when he saw the dream, when he saw in the dream those things prostrating to him, the stars, the sun, the moon, subhanallah, when he saw those prostrating to him in his dream, he went and told his father. But what did his father say straight away? He said, don't narrate this dream to your brothers. Don't tell your brothers about this, because they're not going to like it, i.e., they're going to start getting jealous. Subhanallah. And we learn two important lessons. One, specifically from this verse, and two, what Yusuf alayhi salam did and how he acted as a result of receiving such jealousy. Number one, the first thing from that verse, the way his father told him that don't tell your brothers anything, because they're going to start plotting as a result of their jealousy. As Muslims, my dear brothers and sisters, no matter what happens, avoid jealousy. Let us not be jealous of one another. Jealousy is a sign of selfishness. It is evil, subhanallah. It's a sign that we are not grateful for what we have. Allahu Akbar. Jealousy is where you dislike someone having something. It might be a quality, it might be a characteristic, it might be a possession. You dislike them having that thing, you want it taken off them, and you want yourself to have it. You see someone having a nice car, and you think, why do they have to have it? What have they done to deserve it? And you don't want them to have it, and rather you want yourself to have it. That's jealousy, and that is evil, my dear brothers and sisters. May Allah safeguard us all. Ameen. Admiration is fine. To admire someone having something, to admire someone's skills, someone's possessions, that's fine, inshallah. That's fine. Where we say mashallah to things, you know. Especially, admiration is actually good if it leads to inspiration. Admiration is good if it leads to you being inspired to trying harder, to doing better. Subhanallah. That's actually a good thing. If it inspires you to work harder in life, work harder for the akhirah. Subhanallah. That's good. But jealousy, like what the brothers of Yusuf alayhi salam had, they didn't like anything about Yusuf alayhi salam. They didn't like how his father would treat him. They wanted all of the love that he had towards him. They wanted that taken away, and they wanted the love to be on them instead. That's pure jealousy. Having that level of jealousy is horrible. Let us remain humble. Remain humble for what we have. Subhanallah. Be grateful for what we have. Don't look at something that someone else has and start having hatred in your heart and thinking, why do they have to have everything for? Why does he or she have to have this for? And I don't have anything. No. Be grateful for what you have. Be humble. Admire and try and make sure that that admiration inspires you to work harder, inshallah. So that's lesson number 1. Lesson number 2, my dear brothers and sisters. Look at the strength of Yusuf alayhi salam. Yusuf alayhi salam was a recipient of their jealousy. He was a recipient of their hatred, right? In that verse that we recited, we gained an insight into what was to come. That these brothers of his were not good brothers. Subhanallah. Later on, he received their hatred. Subhanallah. They left him all alone to fend for himself. Where? In the depths of the well. Allahu Akbar. They completely abandoned him. They pretty much left him for dead. Yusuf alayhi salam, by his brothers. But look at the strength of Yusuf alayhi salam. Subhanallah. Despite his brothers treating him so horribly, eventually, fast forward later on in the story, when they were eventually reunited, when Allah, through his wisdom and grace, reunited the brothers with Yusuf alayhi salam, what was his response? Imagine, my dear brothers and sisters, someone leaves you for dead. Someone shows such horrible levels of jealousy and hatred. You then don't see them for a while. After a few years you see them. What are you going to do? How are you going to speak to them? Will you even speak to them? Or will you be so upset that you're just going to run away from them? Yusuf alayhi salam, when he saw his brothers again, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, what did he do? There's a beautiful verse. When his brothers saw Yusuf and they knew that he was Yusuf alayhi salam, they themselves started feeling bad. What did Yusuf alayhi salam say to them? After all that, he said, Allah mentions in verse 92, قَالَ لَا تَثْرِيبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْيَوْمِ لَا تَثْرِيبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْيَوْمِ يَغْفِرُ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ وَهُوَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. Subhanallah. He did 3 or 4 things. He said, the translation of that verse is, there is no blame upon you today. Allah will forgive you. He is the most merciful. Subhanallah. What did Yusuf alayhi salam do? He did 3 or 4 things which shows the strength of his character, my dear brothers and sisters. He overlooked what they did. Whatever happened in the past is fine. It's okay. He overlooked it. Not only did he overlook, he forgave them. He forgave them. Not only did he forgive them, he looked after them. Whatever they came for, he fulfilled whatever they needed. Subhanallah. He didn't disregard them. They came for food, for example. He didn't say, no, do you not remember how you treated me? Go away. No. He looked after them. He took them in his care. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. And number 4, he consoled them. Wow. He who suffered so much at the hands of these people, he consoled them. Yaghfirullahu lakum. Allah will forgive you. Don't worry. Allah is the most forgiving. He's going to forgive you. Don't worry. Subhanallah. He forgave. He overlooked. He looked after them. And he consoled them. What an amazing individual Yusuf alayhi salam is. And it's a key lesson, my dear brothers and sisters. May we do likewise to those who hurt us. Forgive, overlook, make dua for them, console them when required, look after them how much we are able to. Subhanallah. It goes to show as well the importance of maintaining ties of kinship. Yusuf alayhi salam, he didn't want to break the ties of kinship between him and his brothers. He wanted to make sure that it was maintained. Subhanallah. How often do we break ties over petty issues? Allahu Akbar. The smallest of things we stop talking to our brothers, our sisters, our relatives. Allahu Akbar. The smallest of things. Yusuf alayhi salam was left to dead. He was left for dead, sorry. He was left to fend for himself. Yet he still maintained the ties of those who abused him. Allahu Akbar. May Allah keep us all strong, my dear brothers and sisters. May Allah enable us all to maintain ties with our loved ones. Maintaining ties may sometimes seem difficult, but the reward is immense. Let us not be the reason for ties to break. Rather, let us be the reason for ties being maintained. May Allah accept our efforts. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Inshallah, tomorrow we will explore a treasure from Juz 13. Jazakumullahu khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.